Chapter 2 discusses strategic planning. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on strategic planning itself because you've got a whole class on strategy. It used to be that you took the two classes together, but I don't believe you do anymore. We've had to shift some things up in the program as it's grown. So anyway, you still get a whole class in strategy, so I don't see any reason to cover all of those theories with you here. But what we are going to do is look at some strategies and how IT ties into strategy. Some of the objectives here is to discuss the effective strategic planning process, who participates in the deliverables of the process, and how IT planning is tied to overall strategic planning. Okay, so first off, and again, my slides are sort of short here. I'm trying to get the overview for you, so that way as you read the chapter, you kind of have a good place to put the information. The question about why managers need to understand the relationship between strategic planning and IT is an interesting question. IT people have to understand and recognize the business needs to develop effective solutions. But the business managers must communicate the vision, objectives, and strategies of the organization. So the business managers need to communicate with the IT managers so that they can develop solutions to meet needs. Now there's also the situation it's possible where the IT managers understand the business vision so well that they see a new technology that could change the direction of the vision. So at some point we're going to discuss, and I believe it's in a discussion posting this time, should strategy drive IT, or as technology changes, should the new possibilities change strategy? Back to the furniture store example, let's say that everybody always picked up their own furniture. There was no delivery. And then all of a sudden there's a vehicle available that can carry large amounts of furniture and deliver it to multiple stops. So now you have a new possibility. You can change your strategy for your business because there's a new technology available. So which one of these drives the other? Or is there some type of synergistic relationship here where you have to always work together and always communicate? I'm sure that you've all seen examples where IT tried to drive strategy, and you've probably seen some examples where strategy has driven IT. But this chapter is specifically about strategic planning. We're going to look at a couple of different approaches, and some of these things you're going to see throughout the remainder of the semester. Typically, strategic planning is an annual process. Sometimes on campus we have a review about every 4 or 5 years of our strategy, but annually we'll at least look at our progress on the things that we've set out to achieve for each year. This is in the book. It's figure 2.1 in the textbook. I copied it and pasted it into this presentation so you could look at it. Usually you're going to have a vision or a mission, then you're going to do an internal and external assessment, then you're going to create objectives, goals, set your strategies for achieving those goals, and define the measures that you're going to use to determine if you've met those goals. Okay, so then you're going to deploy the objectives, goals, strategies, and measures. You're going to identify projects, prioritize the projects and initiatives. You're going to execute and then measure and evaluate. Now this is called the OGSM model, where the organization establishes numerical objectives, okay, and those objectives are going to set goals that index each objective, and then those goals are going to set strategies on how to reach the goals, and then that's going to define the measures. Now when you take your strategy class, you're going to see a lot more of this. What I want to discuss for just a minute is a couple of terms that we're going to use the rest of this semester. I used it last time and it kind of stuck and hit home with some people. This OGSM model filters down through the organization. At the corporate level, the strategies and measures become the objectives and goals for the business unit level. And at the business unit level, their strategies and measures become the objectives and goals for the department level. I like to call this the bow ties and the crew necks. If you look at the strategic planning process, what is up here at the top is going to be done by the bow ties. These are the people that are in corporate offices that are making decisions over what's going to happen for the next 5 years, the direction of the organization, and their strategies and measures are going to filter through whatever units you've got, business units, strategic units, down to the departments where the crew necks are actually going to take those strategies and measures and employ those things to achieve whatever the strategies that the bow ties have set forth. So what you see then is that sometimes there's a disconnect in communication between the bow ties and the crew necks. And this is something that comes out a lot with technology because let's say that your organization has decided to adopt a new information system. Well, the crew necks are over here saying, why in the world is this a project? Why is this an initiative that we have to update this system? Well, they may not ever know the reason why. All they know is that they're getting a new system. But somewhere up at the bow tie level, they were looking at things from the 10,000-foot perspective and saying, we need to be in a different place 5 years from now, and our current systems will not take us there. So therefore, we need to update our systems so we can move forward as an organization. Now, the crew necks may not understand that, so what you get is pushback, and you have problems with people adopting technologies. So this is one of the issues, and this image here, I think just that short description gives you a good perspective on the communication and what we're going to be talking about through the semester. So you've got your strategies that are set here, and then you're going to try to match your technology to that strategy, and a lot of times the technology is played out with the crew necks. So you've got the bow ties making decisions, the crew necks actually doing the work, and the technology is supporting both sides of this dashed line here. So as we move forward with the semester, I want you to keep in mind that with any decision, there's always going to be the bow ties, there's always going to be the crew necks, and typically, as was mentioned in the first chapter's video, it's the manager's job, both the business managers and the IT managers, to help bridge this gap between strategic planning and the actual operational implementation of that strategic plan. So as you go through this chapter, I think you'll find some interesting information that will fit within this overview of the content, and probably you can tie some of this to your own personal experiences and begin to see how the technology should fit to support the overall strategies and goals of the organization.